Hello guys, it's the Slimy Dog here, and today I'm going to be playing a game called SuperPlanetCrash, as you can see from here. Now this game is a browser game. It takes pretty much 10 seconds to load, and you will be spending, like, I don't know, 8.3 years playing this game. So it's a lot of fun, and I'll admit I haven't had this much fun playing a game in, I don't know, a long time. There's very few games that really get me to have a lot of fun, and this is one of those really fun games. So let's actually just dive into the game and explain why it's fun. So this game is basically a gravity simulator. You can add planets and try not to get them to lag and, you know, just watch them interact, as you can see. But if you look a little deeper, it's actually very educational. You're learning stuff about how planets interact, and you're probably wondering, how are these planets interacting in any way? Well, let me just take a slightly larger planet here. As you can see, you can switch between planet sizes over here, and let me just put it down. And quickly, you'll notice that all the planets start interacting in this weird way with that big planet, and they just destroy themselves. The mechanics of this game, let me just explain the basic point system and why this game is so much fun. Firstly, you can submit your high score and, you know, send it to your friends, share it. You can create pictures of the system. You can basically create a picture like that and share that online with your friends if you want to. And there's a point system here. So points are basically based off of how many planets you have, whether they're in this habitable zone where the Earth is usually supposed to be located, and how crowded they are. Basically, the more crowded they are, the faster or the more they interact, and that's basically what gives you more points. You have 500 years to rack up as many points as you can, and obviously, as you can see, points right now very slow. So let's see what happens if we add a few dwarf stars in the mix. Firstly, my computer lags, but also you'll notice how the planets, it's amazing how they interact and how all this stuff works, really. And now let's actually check a few more of the things that we can do. Here you see the templates. Now these templates are pretty cool, and I just died. Because they're like pre-made systems which you can actually load up, if we can get that to load. Yeah, see, I said like 10 seconds, boom, we're already done loading. And if we can actually go a bit faster, that would be cool. So this is actually a planet revolving around that, and if we had like a super huge dwarf star or something there, yeah, it just like explodes. I don't know, that's just how a template works. It's pretty cool, so you can go try those out for yourself. And now let us continue to my rant. So how is this game educational anyway? I mean it's cool, right? But I'm not really learning anything from this. Well, technically you are. You're gaining an intuition for the stuff that happens, how gravity works. I mean, how often do you get to see what happens when I put a brown dwarf in the center of the freaking thing? Well, you just noticed how this planet, which was in a stable orbit, it was just going like that, in a circle, suddenly crashed outside, and that's basic conservation of something. I don't know, probably energy. I'm pretty sure it's conservation of energy. My physics teacher is gonna kill me for not knowing that. I had a physics AP just a few days ago, and this is the game that I discovered the day before that, and this was, I guess, a good game to play the day before that because, you know, gravity is one of the subjects that we have to learn, and boom, gravity game. And yeah, you can see how it enters a larger ellipse and the elliptical orbits and all that stuff. These are Kepler's laws. These are things that you learn in school, but you're seeing them firsthand, and that's what gives you a lot more knowledge on the subject. So now that my rant for educational games is over, wait, my rant actually isn't over. Now I'm going to bash how much the current educational games that we have suck. Educational games right now are based off one premise, and that's like, if we give them a bunch of math problems or other problems and put them in a competitive environment and then like place them along with other kids, they're probably going to try to, you know, fight against the other kids and try to get a bigger score, right? Because these games are so much fun. Well, that's not true, because I mean, even though they are competitive, they're not very fun, so as to say. This game, which we have here, is fun and it's competitive and it teaches you something. And I believe that every simulator that has a good point system would be a fun game. You know, and this is a game that I just had an idea of a few days ago. Let's imagine a game where your objective was to use things like spring forces and, you know, collisions and conservation of momentum and energy and all these things that you're supposed to learn in school. Imagine if your goal was to get a block from one side of, you know, a field or something to the other side of the field, and you had to use all of these concepts to actually get the block from one side to the other side. Think about how much intuition and, you know, understanding of how things work you would gain if you played that game. There's something called Constraint Relations. Okay, if you want to learn some physics and do stuff right now, then go check that out. It's basically what would happen if I took a pulley and I took a rope and then I had a bunch of other pulley systems, and maybe I'll put a picture on the screen right now, but if I put a bunch of pulley systems and got and I moved one end of the string, how would the other end of the string move? What velocity would it move with, and what acceleration would it move with respect to the velocity of the first string that I pulled? And that should seem pretty simple, right? Pretty intuitive. But the thing is, it's actually not, strangely enough. And if you try a few problems with constraint relations, you'll realize that it actually isn't as intuitive as it would seem in the first place. And that's why I believe educational games that we have right now are horrible, and the games that we have to make are things like the thing that I just said, or simulators like this. So yeah, thank you for watching this episode of SlimyPlays. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like or subscribe for more, and obviously go check this game out. It's a really fun game, and share it with your friends, because, I mean, who is not against learning? Unless you are against learning. In that case, I guess don't share it with your friends. I don't know. You're not a really nice person in that case. Leave a comment down below telling me what other games you want me to play. And as always, this is the Slimy Dog signing off. Until next time, goodbye.